Hey everyone, I just thought I'd give a little video of the making of the onion cake and the Hungry Dinosaurs game that I recently worked on. And maybe just to start off with, I'll just talk about the well, where the idea for it came from. Well, I guess MrZaadii had a great series of MEGA65 walkthrough videos of programming it, a big long playlist, which I highly recommend. I'll put the link for that in my description for this video. And yeah, I really loved that game because it was his whole series was great. It was very encouraging to learn about Mega 65 coding in BASIC and assembly very rapidly through his videos. And it was I think there wasn't much content out there in those early days, and he was one of the early content providers. So yeah, it was really nice of him to provide all of that. And yeah, they were great videos, and the onion cake game was great. I think the only downside was it a little slow. I think the graphic drawing routine was a bit slow, but maybe for comparison, you can look at his video for that, and maybe I should try and hunt down where I put the video for that. Oh, I'll make a video here now so you can see how it looks like now. So this was MrZaadii's Mega Pack, Mega Game Pack. We had several games on there, and you can see at the bottom of the screen, you can pick Mega Snake, Mega Break, Escape from Onion Cake, and yeah, so I'll press C for Escape for Onion Cake, and a quick description there of the game. So you can see it's a bit different from the way it was before. You can hear I've added a bit of sound, and you can also see that things are going to move a lot faster now. So I guess we start with shake the chair, she breaks, you are free. It's get, it's not get it, it's take, and you can even see things I type. I can the text is appearing faster. I can delete it. I don't delete before, and yeah, I'll take the whistle, go down, and yeah, you can see the graphics are updating very fast now. Before it was very slow pixel by pixel stuff. And yeah, I won't play the entire game, but just enough for you to see that everything's behaving a lot better now. And I'll leave it at that. So yeah, it was a fun game, and if you want the complete walkthrough, it's in his video within his playlist, and I'll provide a link for that as well. So yeah, it was part of my inspiration was his game, and I love what he did with it. It was a very cute, fun game. And the other one was one day my daughter's 4 years old now. Yeah, she loves to sing silly songs from time to time that she made up on. One day she decided to sing a song about a Vietnamese dinosaur, which I thought was very cute. The idea of attributing some sort of country of origin to a dinosaur. And yeah, so that's where the idea spawned in my mind. And I always liked this character that MrZaadii had of onion cake, which is the capybara. Well, the evil capybara that features in his video playlist, forcing you at gunpoint to program the Mega 65. So yeah, I wanted him to feature in the game as well. Um, so yeah, that's where it all stemmed from. And I think another aspect was when I thought about adventure games, I think one thing I loved about old adventure games was vector art. I think there were several games on the 64 that drew vector art as you played the game. I think one I played was called Treasure Island, I think. And yeah, well, I was never very good at these games, but it was just a pleasure to watch the artwork being drawn, like, a painter on the canvas, with a paintbrush, slowly building up a scene. And I think part of the fun was just going north, south, east, west, and enjoying the artwork being drawn. So yeah, I thought that would be novel to try and get vector art drawn from basic. Yeah, I think that was my goal here, and part of that was making a tool called vart, a vector art drawing tool, something to quickly whip something up and save it and load it. I think I made a video of that previously, but anyway, maybe this time I can just load it up just as a quick. So I've lost my oh, maybe I should just run that again. No, maybe I should just restart that. I'll just break out of that. So if I load that way, go in here and we've got a nice cursor now. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it was pretty simple sort of thing. And I'm using all basic 65 sort of primitive graphic commands. Apart from the poly one, like a line, that's just draw two dots, it'll join together. Changing colors was just like on, the Commodore side using control and the numerics. So if I want a red one, I do control 3 and then do some dots. If I want cyan, I'd put control 4 and press a few dots. Same with like circle, if I wanted that, one dot in the middle of the circle and then that. If I wanted to fill it, I could do that sort of thing. And the polygon was the only tricky one because our basic 65 didn't have a command for filling of irregular polygons or even non-filling. So that one I had to write in basic, like an algorithm to do the filling there. And so it performs a little slower, but I thought, well, what the hell, it's first effort, and yeah, that's sufficient for now. Um, oh yeah, and the save was pretty primitive, but enough to get the job done. It just saves to a specific file name hard-coded called test.v, and if we were to run that again, and it'll just load up what we had saved before. So if you look at the directory here, if I look at all the .v files, you can see I've been a bit busy. There's a few different ones over there. So yeah, oh, maybe looking at the source code, vart was written in 11. So if I jump to 11 now, it was written in a slightly modified version of 11. Um, oh, that's not 11. So I press F1 and then I type in the name of the source file, vart.el, and this is available on GitHub as well. I'll put that in the description too, a link to that. And yeah, it's 11's really nice. This was written by Ubik, and he contributed that to the community. And it's just a nice time save, especially if you've got ambitious basic projects that you get fed up with line numbers and you get fed up with very short variable names and you want a bit more sophistication to might write something a bit more complex. So you can see here I'm declaring variable names with very long variable names. Old menu selection equals -1, blah blah. Any other interesting things here? Oh, comments are nice with that. A struct was a modification I added so that I can make a struct consisting of these integers and whatever things, string, and then I can fill up that struct here via something like that. So here's those integers. There's a string here, and then a nice quick way to sort of spin up lots of variables and initialize them quickly. And compiling was pressing F5. It wasn't the fastest of compilers because it's written in BASIC, the compiling step as well. But hopefully we're underway with porting that compile step to Rust. And when that's done, this should be a lot faster. And yeah, once it compiles, it jumps straight into the program. And by comparison, Hungry Dinosaurs was a much larger program than this. It took ages to compile towards the end as it got bigger and bigger. But yeah, I'll describe that a little later. Here we go. And we're in. And yeah, so that's all it takes to work in 11. Oh, and once you exit your program to get back into 11, just do, what was it, Shift and run stop. And that's the quick shortcut to get back into 11 and continue editing. Another shortcut I tend to use is F7 to sort of look at all the labels you've got so far and quickly jump to the label of interest, maybe, or check if the button is hit. And you can see I can comfortably use sort of spaces to sort of make the code a bit more human readable. And yeah, I've really enjoyed using 11, and also we're in the position Ubik's happy for us to extend 11 and grow it further. And yeah, it's great that he's contributed that and he's fine with that. So yeah, where do I want to go from here? We've talked about vart. Oh yeah, and I asked my sister to help out with the drawing of the dinosaurs and the artwork, and she worked on paper, and we transcribed that into lots of irregular polygons via vart, and that was pretty laborious and exhausting. But we'll aim to make things a bit easier in future, so she can use her own PC tooling, and we'll save to SVG and then convert that to vart or vart format. And maybe also, what else can I show? The code itself in 11. Yeah, that's probably worth a shot. I'll do shift and run stop again to get back in there. I'll press F1. This time what did I call it again? I've forgotten actually. I'm .l. I called it hungry. Okay. So I'll press F1, hungry.l. Okay, now this is an enormous file. It's 1,500 now. And if I press F7, you'll see the number of labels in it was so big that normally 11 has 2 columns of labels, but I ran out of space, so I had to make it like more columns to fit all of these in. And yeah, lots of declarations of variables. Other shortcuts of interest, I think, because I'm in ZMU now, I probably can't map everything nicely in my head. It does have a page up and down. I think there was a help key. How do I get the help again? Can't remember. In uh, everything's different in ZMU. Oops, I've broken it too. But yeah, not sure I can describe. Well, maybe looking at the labels, maybe yeah, there was an attic RAM checked. Is anything interesting there? Things in your people that have written adventure games before might see sort of plenty of common ground here. And I think yeah, the graphics subsystem, yeah, stuff to load graphics in. A lot of effort with the polygons here, finding intersections of lines and using the line command to fill those intersection points. Yeah, that was quite messy and slow. Um, Also, some music songs because I knew the artwork would take a while to load. I thought we better play some music. And again, these are all songs written for the basic 65's play command. So you can see I put a Thai song in there. Maybe I can go a bit quicker with the page down. There's a sort of quasi-German song there, Vietnamese song. Yeah, and all of these are long strings to be played via the play command. Turkish song as well. Yeah, but and compilation. Well, all right, I'll press F5 and you'll see how slow it is. It is like super slow. So maybe I won't go through the entire compilation of that, except to say that towards the end it was so slow that when I ran ZMU, I had to make use of it, one of the arguments it had. If you were to do, I tend to use the UART monitor for debugging, so I'll at least make mention of that. So you can connect over Telnet and do debugging over the UART monitor. I tend to use HDOS Virch for easy mounting of D81 files. Um, and also, yes, what I added towards the end was fast clock 200, so it can run the emulator at 200 megahertz, and this thing can compile a bit faster. I won't do that now, but yeah, just let you know that if you're making a big project in 11, you can cheat that way and make things a bit easier for yourself. So yeah, I'll jump back into 11. So shift and yeah, maybe some of the other while we're here, I can mention I didn't have much time to put much polish to addition. Like I know I needed copy paste a lot, so I think I had escape key and M to mark, and then I can use the arrow keys to pick out lines. It does it only per line, and then I can press X to cut, C to copy. It's not terribly smart. Oh, you can see how slow it copies now because of how long the file is. And I did escape P to paste. It's not perfect. It can only do what's on the screen. If you try and copy more than a screen's worth, it's going to crash out. It's a start, and I'm sure we can make it better in future. So I won't save that. Um, so that's 11, I'd say. Yeah, and I'll put a link to the modified version of 11 as well. I'll put that in the description. And I think another thing on my mind was how the music was sequenced, because I had to do 5 songs in a very short space of time. And normally, I think if you've seen my past videos, I do it via the immediate mode, and I'd sort of make several uh, stabs at it like that. And but doing that for 5 songs would have been just enormously tedious. I had to do it over a weekend, these 5 songs, and yeah, it was very painstakingly difficult. But so that's why a bit of tooling was made to help out with that process too. So I'll just load that one up too. So shift and run stop to get back into 11. I'll jump to, what did I call it? Melody L, I think. Yeah, or playmaker. I'm not sure what to call it as yet. And so this one, I'll press F7. It's not terribly big right now, not super smart. Saving out is pretty dumb. It does have a save routine, but maybe I won't bother compiling it. I'll just yeah. So it just lets me iterate a bit quicker, so I can do and press return key. I can maybe inject a few characters in front, and I guess these things you can do from the immediate mode as well, but just it can be a bit tedious moving the cursor back and forth to the right place. I've added some shortcut like Escape J, Escape K to bring it back and front, and whatever. So did, and then I do Shift Enter to play all of them as a group. I was had a chunk index there, chunk index 0, and I was using I think greater than and less than to move to the next chunk or move to the previous chunk. So greater than, less than. So if I want to, yeah, whatever, different chunk here, I'll play that one. So yeah, moving from chunk to chunk. That way I can sequence several chunks of a song, and then I forgot the key to save it out. It would save out to a text file, and I could try and paste that into uh, my 11 source code. So yeah, that's a work in progress. Probably needs a bit more polish before I share this one, but yeah, just a hint of how that was done. And maybe finally, I'll maybe just share the first screen of the game. I don't want to spoil the entire game, but just to give you a feel for how it all looked, putting it all together. So I'll just try and recall which file was it. And again, I'll share a link to this in the description. Okay, so yeah, there's instructions on what it's about. The verb noun usage and how to play it in the text. Yep, it's 6040 by 400 in 16 color mode. And so that's the vocabulary it uses for the game. Pretty simple vocabulary. It's a pretty simple game. I think most people should finish it in 30 minutes if you played this sort of thing before. I put some credits in here. My sister did the artwork. You're welcome to donate to her. So I hope she gets enthusiastic about this and feels like it's worth her while and wants to join in for another project together. And I credited the songs. Some of these songs are parodies of other songs, which I've given sort of cute, silly names to. Others are genuine songs from other cultures, which yeah, the songs that I've enjoyed in the past, and it was a chance to share a few cultural songs from different countries, which you might like, I hope. And I hope they're entertaining while this all loads up. You get to enjoy those songs. And some thank yous to MrZaadii for all of his wonderful work, and links to his work there too. And yeah, playing the game, spacebar, and yeah, I'll let you enjoy this first screen drawing and leave it at that. type things. You can see there's a little eggplant here, so you try and take the eggplant. No, it doesn't want to come along with you. So you'll find in this game there's a lot of hitting of things, so that's my big hint for you, just hit everything. And you can see it becomes a fainted eggplant, so you can get or take either way. You don't have to type the full word, just a bit of it. There you go, you've got it. It's I for inventory, L to look at where you are again. And that's about it. Just look around and you'll figure the game out. Yeah, that's the game. And you might have heard there were some gaps in the music while the artwork was being drawn. Yeah, that's mainly because the play command I've got different chunks, and the polygon filling is pretty intensive for basic to do and pretty slow. So and polling for the next play chunk was making it even slower. So I tended to just poll for the next play chunk every fifth drawing of a sort of a line's worth of the polygon. But once it's all drawn, that's fine. It plays at normal speed and without any interruptions. And yeah, the artwork is cached. Once it draws one screen, you can go north, south, and come back to that screen, and then it will draw instantly. So yeah, that's all I've got. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll give a link to the game in the description too. And bye for now.